Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are ready for some star cards. We went through the major arcana of the star card the other night and how beautiful that card is. But let's learn to read it. Let's look at what we actually need to be able to piece the pieces of the puzzle together. We've got the Three of Cups there. Looks like a lovely scene, doesn't it? But how do we know it's about the emotions? It's about the suit. So whenever you have got the suit of cups, you are looking at the emotions. And the emotions are, in this case, looking rather wonderful. Joy, harmony, celebration. It's about maybe fulfilling some of your wishes, the things that you've wanted to happen. It's starting to happen. It's time to celebrate. Let's say it was a work question, maybe about you. What's going to happen to me in work in the next few months? And you draw this as a pair. The star card's telling you that you are networking and that you've got a lot of joy and that there's a lot of celebration. So perhaps something you've been hoping for is coming your way and it's good for everybody. Why do we know it's good for everybody? The star card is connected with networks and communities. So let's say that we are saying, what's going to happen? Am I going to get some sort of satisfaction or fulfillment in the coming months regarding my work? And we're looking at the self, we'll say. There's many different positions in the spread that I use. And in this regard, it would be the community are really happy with you. And yes, your hopes and wishes are starting to come back. Also, you could look at this as if it's not just networking, it's healing, it's hopes, it's wishes, it's all joy. But it's not just about you. We've got the group of three, which is a creative process. So it's affecting everybody. So that's even better, isn't it? Three is a creative number, of course, and the Three of Cups is celebrating with others. So a wonderful combination. The Four of Wands, consolidation. Perhaps if you're looking for what's going on at work, this is telling you stable. You're grounded, that there are roots firmly being planted into what it is you're doing. And everything that's connected to you and the community, they're feeling very stable, it feels very solid, it feels like this is built on some really lovely, stable ground. And I would actually say that, there's a lot of action going on here and more growth coming in, even more perhaps than you've actually had in the past. So it's a time of looking forwards. Anything that you have principles and ideals on, that will also be consolidated. So things are going into action. Why the Suit of Wands is about action, inspiration and making things happen. It's the things that we do in order to get a result. Tuesday is about showing you how to fuse two cards together so that your major arcana card takes on a variety of meanings. And by that I mean there are 56 minor cards. So that's 56 different interpretations. Let's have a look at another combination. I'm going to choose this one. So there we have the Star card and the Page of Pentacles, and that's like what's happening for me at work in the coming months. So it's showing that you are about to be involved in perhaps learning something new, getting your head down, starting from the beginning, but you are determined, you are focused, you are a student of this. How do we know that you're determined and focused and we're not just giving anybody any old spiel? Page of Pentacles is somebody that collects the four elements together. So pentacles are always a combination of the element of air and water and fire. So what that means is we have got the capacity to be able to have our mental state right, our emotional wanting, desire to actually achieve this, and that if we have thought about it, and we have connected in a positive way emotionally with that, which obviously being a pentacle we have, and then we will actualize it. But the page is telling us that we're right at the beginning of something, and it's something you've perhaps been wishing for or wanting, because the Star card is a card of wish fulfillment. It's also about hopes. It's also about networking. And think about this. It's connected to Aquarius, lovely Aquarius there, which is all about let's do it because it needs to be done. And the other side of it is the fact that the star card is very much, we're being shown something, we're being inspired, and we're connecting with that, and we're using that capacity to actually spread that in a community. The star card is probably, actually the major arcana, the one that I would say that connects to communities the most. It's also about healing, of course. Don't be fooled that it's a water sign with all that lovely water there. Aquarius is, of course, the air sign, which is the thoughts, the communication. But the star card is very much a case of, it links with any matters that deal with correspondence to some degree with a collective group of people. So that can be things where we are on committees, where we are in groups, where we're in social media, people that are connected to any of those platforms. And then you've got communities which are probably something to do with your hobbies, your interests, those kind of things. Page of Pentacles. A page isn't about an age. A page is very much in any of the suits. It's about you're starting something where you are at the beginning. So we can all be pretty much great at the job we do, but if we have to take on, say, a new piece of software, there would be an example of learning how to use it and being very focused. Look at the page, look at how he's holding that. So, you know, you may have been wishing for a chance to study. You may have the capacity to pay meticulous attention to detail. The star card again there, and you've got the Two of Swords. What's going to happen for me at work? And you get the star card and you go, ooh, this looks promising. What's this mean for me? It looks happy, it looks good. Yes, it is. Yeah, you are being supported unconditionally by the universe. You've been shown the way by the Hermit's Lantern there, that big old star in the sky. And you've got those little tiny stars there that are your chakras. And so everything's balanced. You're grounded by the fact you've got the lush scenery around. Emotionally, all is good. Two of Swords. It's about our thinking, all right, and our communication. And our figure shows that something that they've been hoping and wishing for, they can't quite figure out which way to go. So therefore, they've got to call a truce within themselves. This is a card and the Two of Swords that's telling us the background effects of what's going on is probably they can see two sides of the situation and not quite sure what might be the best way forwards. It can look as if they're a bit defensive because they are crossing their arms across like that. But in actual fact, that's probably protecting themselves, as in from what's to come. But what are they protecting against? Communication and the thoughts. So it's not from people, it's not from enemies, it's their own thoughts. Haven't come to a conclusion yet. Perhaps they can't. Perhaps they are actually going to miss this opportunity because they're thinking too much about what might be or how it actually might all come about. And that would be a shame. You're indecisive. You are not choosing to see all of the situations. Perhaps you are going round and round in circles in your mind or in your conversations with yourself or with other people within your community at work, where emotionally you want a slight change, but you don't want things to change too much. You almost still want to be part of that community. Let me just say quite simply that maybe you're going around in circles because you like the friendships. Do you know the star card is also linked to friendships? It's a very big card of friendships. And the kind of friendships that we have within a community, so, you know, maybe you're involved in the skateboard group if you're a young person, or maybe the crochet, or maybe it's bowling, or maybe it's dance, or a hobby of yours that you actually like, golf or something like that. And it brings about a sense of socializing. So the star card is very much that kind of community. It can be political, of course. You might be into politics in your local area or even higher and above. Politics is very much a part of the star card. So maybe you can't actually work out which way to go with your friends, or when I say part of a group and we're talking about work, it might be that if you get that promotion It's going to take you away from your group of friends. You're not going to have the time for your hobbies. You're not going to be able to have balance. So sometimes it's better that the fact that you actually, if things stay as they are, you'll have the best of all worlds. Great card of social media, great card of politics, great card of being able to connect into groups and communities. It's also a card of healing, and maybe the person here is actually saying, I've had a really nice time within the community of the people that the group at work, or maybe it's not at work, it can be a group outside of work like I explained. And if you got more pressure on at work, although you want the opportunity to grow at work, that's going to affect your social life. Yeah? Or maybe it's a case of your principles and ideals. You can see both sides of it, but you're being forced maybe from, in order to grow, sometimes we have to do something. And sometimes we don't know whether if we go this way or that way, whether what we do is actually going to work in the way that we want it to. Sometimes people say, forget the promotion, I won't have as much time off. The money's great, but money's not everything, is it? Absolutely, we know that wholeheartedly. It's important. The star card is linked to Aquarius. So I'm going to give you another thing tonight. This is a real nugget. Timing. If you're looking at timing in cards, as in people say, when is it going to happen? You've got to go to a position specifically in a spread to know. And if you're only putting out past, present, future, you can still do it, and if you're only using one card each and people say, oh, that's all I want to do, you're going to get very short reading. Are you realizing that the minor arcana card is feeding the energy into the major card for you so that you're able to do what you need to do? And that is to work out whether it's a thought, whether it's an emotion, or whether it's an action, or whether it's something that's already materialized. I want to say about timing, there are lots of different ways, but I would urge you to, if somebody asked me about timing, I would go into the 22 positions that I use. So that means there's 44 cards on the table. And yeah, I do 10-minute readings. I'm quick enough shuffling and putting the cards out. I know exactly what I'm doing, and therefore it's well worth waiting, because whatever they ask me, it's all on the table right now. There's no humming or eyeing. I can go into any area of their life and actually be able to provide something from the major arcana card, something from the position, and something from the minor arcana card, nuanced in that particular house or position. There is a position for timing, and when you look at timing, you can use the suits as a form of timing, and you'll read lots of different things about that. And if you want to look at my timing, I can't possibly go through all of it on here. Go and look at the courses. It's very specific and it's very accurate. There are two positions of timing. There is the first point of timing, and then there is the second. So if the first one doesn't make sense, you will look at the second one. And remember, you've got a pair there to tell you the answer. The second one is to use not just the minor cards to tell you the timing, but to use the major cards. And the major cards will connect to a timing too. Not all of them, because some of them are planets, which won't give you any time. And also some suits won't give you any timing at all. And that applies to the suit of swords, which is open. For anybody that's wondering about that, yes, the course does it. Also, do you know that you can find out geographically what's going on in the cards, whether something is, it's not always about being international. It can tell you about countries. Yes, your tarot cards can provide you with whether it's Australia, whether it's Europe, whether it's the Middle East. What's the other one? United States and Canada. It will do that for you. It can also, there is the way of being able to find out geographically if somebody is local, whether it's a situation of somebody says, oh, they're local, or do we have some distance to travel? There are certain cards that will tell you. And yeah, I teach all of that in the courses. And there is also a situation where you can find out if something is actually happening within the next 12 months. That's the other part of the timing. So there's the minor cards, there's the major cards that will tell you the timing, there's the position that will tell you the timing in the spread that I teach, and then there are individual months, and yeah, can do all of that with you. Obviously the courses say that somebody's come in and they've said, oh, I want to know what's happening at work, I'm having a really difficult time and I'm really feeling that something's off, what do you think? And this comes out for the person, and we answer and say, actually, people really see you as being somebody that's very serious about what you do. How do we know that? That comes from a king. King is always somebody that's seen as serious. Now, the suit is action, and so that relates to work. So they see you as a serious hard worker. But also King of Wands, yeah, beautiful card. So how lovely have we got this energy that is enthusiastic, almost as if they make it's their hobby, they're enjoying it. And so they see that you're enjoying what you're doing, and they're seeing that out of anything, King of Wands is somebody that we can trust, we can put our trust into, because we can trust the fact that they will take things forwards and act on them, which is rather lovely. And the Star card is healing, so it's like the situation will heal. You are a little light shining there, and you are actually supporting all of the other stars there. Really? It hasn't been feeling like that. Or perhaps they rely on you. Perhaps it feels like you're carrying all the burden. And perhaps it feels as if they go off to play and they think that perhaps they see you as somebody that is their superior and that you wouldn't want to join them. You're not feeling included and part of the community. It can be difficult. Sometimes you've got to keep your boundaries, haven't you? Which is why we see the King of Wands sitting there, as in on that platform, keeping his boundaries in the community. On another day, when he's not in that group, he might be letting his hair down. Can you have the Queen of Cups? Thank you, Anne. Ah, Queen of Cups, here she comes, especially for you. Indeed, you can. Can you have the Queen of Cups? Let's say they're asking about work and the Star card comes up and the Queen of Cups. Within your community, you are seen as somebody that people adore. They love you. They feel safe with you. They feel calm with you. They feel there's a kindness. They feel that you're helpful. You feel that you're supportive of them. The supportiveness, there's loads of water there between the Star card and the Queen of Cups, of course. The Queen of Cups is an aspect of the person that's having the reading, and it's an aspect of the people that they may be asking about. If they're not asking about anyone, it's all about them. But if it comes up in the influences of others, then even if they're not asking about anyone, you would bring that in and say, in the position of others, I can see that the influences are, let's say it was this, that in your community, Queen of Cups, as in you're shining emotionally. They think you're very caring, they think you're very kind, they think you're very graceful, they think you're very elegant, and you've got a depth about you. And if you look, Queen of Cups is sitting on an emotional island, so they probably feel that they wouldn't take advantage of that because there's a boundary and they know it. And so therefore it's not over the jurisdiction line, please. If it came up in them themselves and they were asking about work, what could this combination mean? Your community at work think very highly of you, are very well liked. They think you're serious about what you're doing, they think you're caring, and they think you're established enough in what you're doing. Also, Queen of Cups is somebody that's digging deep and going in very deeply. This comes up a lot for politicians that I read for. Also journalists and holistic alternative therapies, which is quite a big one. Let me give you an example. Massage, Reiki, aromatherapy, osteopathy, cranial osteopathy. And Anne is asking, what is this person's intention towards me? Let me go back to this. What's their intentions towards me? Their intentions can be, what are they thinking? That's not really, I suppose it is, what do they think? But their intention is what they're going to act out. A pentacle would probably answer that, and lo and behold, we've got the Seven of Pentacles in this one. So it would mean that this pair comes up, it's what's their intentions towards me. They're probably looking to heal from a situation. And the Seven of Pentacles in this case is about taking a bit of a risk. And the risk is tiny. Because if we look at the Seven of Pentacles, there's our fellow, and all his pentacles are there. So it's a bit like there's all my products growing there, and they're absolutely fine, aren't they? So there's my products, and I'm going to invest a tiny amount, just this much, because a whole lot growing on a bush there is still safe. I'm not taking any risk with any of that. I'm just going to part with this one and see what it does. So what that means is their intentions with you is to actually not give you everything, but give you part of themselves. And the star card's saying that they want to, they're wishing for it, they're hoping, and they're wishing. And they're probably looking to support you and just for you to support them. Why? Because the star card is about that connectivity of being able to give and receive. The star card's also, it's a big one of friendships. So it's like, what's their intention? Oh, do they love me? Well, there's nothing about emotion there. Can't answer that. So what's this person's intention? They're prepared to take a little bit of a risk on you. They're hoping that there's a friendship blooming here, and they're looking to actually invest in that and see how that grows. That's what that one would mean. That's a great question. See you all soon. Until next time.